Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards, and in this video, we're going to talk about players that other people are forgetting about. So sports card investing, sports card collecting, whatever you choose to do, they're both awesome. And both sports card collecting and investing have players that are forgotten about. There's players that are basically Hall of Famers at certain points in their career, and their cards are worth less than prospects in single A. And there's no bashing prospecting here, because prospecting can lead to the biggest returns in all of sports card collecting, but you need to take a step back sometimes and look for some players who have gotten further along in their careers than you expected and see if they're worth a buy. Or, on the other hand, there may be players who are in their second, third, fourth year, and they're the early few parts of their career that have really good projections that may be worth buying as well. So I just wanted to show a couple things I've realized recently, and you all might already know this, but I thought it'd be fun to look into. The very first thing is, let's look at 2020 rookies. I put forgotten in parentheses because they're not forgotten. Luis Robert, Jordan, and Bo Bichette are all spoken about in Instagram highlight pages, on ESPN, or whatever else. But if you look at how good they all had, like the year they actually had is pretty impressive. So let's start with Bo Bichette. He had a 6-WAR season at age 23. That's amazing, especially for a team that's going to be contending for the playoffs for the foreseeable future with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and if they can re-sign Marcus Semien and so forth. And they have a lot of players coming up in the minor leagues. The thing about Bo Bichette is he's a great defender, high batting average, relatively low OPS. 821 is a good OPS, and an OPS plus of 121. Not necessarily bad at all, but it's only 21% better than league average. But hey, age 23, he can definitely grow into some more power, as he still had 28 home runs this year. Then you had Luis Robert. Luis Robert has only played, I think, 60 games this year and has 3.4 WAR. That's awesome. That's really good. One of the better defenders in the league. He actually won a Gold Glove in his rookie year. His OPS plus is 155. Again, he only played 66 games, so take that with a grain of salt. But he looked awesome with that batting average of 342. He will come back down to earth because his BABIP, or batted balls in play, they estimate what percentage of the balls off the bat based off of the launch angle where it was hit, what the batting average will be. It was really high, so that will come down in the future. But overall, he was lucky this year, but he can be a 300 hitter in the future. I don't think that's something that can't happen. Then you had Jordan Alvarez. He's a little bit different. You know, he's a DH primarily, doesn't provide much defensive value, but he still had a great year. 32 home runs, 101 RBI with an OPS plus of a 135. So I wanted to show these guys. These players, they're starting to go up right now, but for a while, people were ignoring them, and I would take these players as a lesson for next year. Let's say Joe Adell starts really hot. You can get a rainbow foil rookie if he has for $10 from Top Series 1. I would consider doing that. There's other rookies that are sleepers, especially pitchers in this class. There's players in like Topps Update coming out like Andrew Vaughn and Jared Kelenic, who are going to have potential in the future as well. So just don't forget these rookies from a year or two ago. If we go back to 2019, we can do this exact same process with Kyle Tucker and some other players. 2018 with Devers. It's just how it always is. There's forgotten players in the mix. Then we have more established veterans. If we look at Carlos Correa, for example, I understand Correa has baggage, but he's a 26-year-old shortstop who had one of his best years ever. Most games he's played in a season by far because he always had injuries, which is his biggest problem, but he put up 7.2 WAR. That's really good. He's going to be signing with a new team this year. The Astros have made it clear they don't want to retain him and pay him what he's worth, especially after Lindor signed a $300+ million contract, and the Astros only offered Correa $100 million. So overall, I think he could be a great buy. Let's say he goes to the Yankees. I don't know if Yankees fans will like that because he cheated, but I think that cheating was more around the league than people realized. Not defending the Astros at all, but I think we should start to forget it a little bit. It might be tough, but you get what I'm saying. But if he goes to the Yankees, this Bowman Chrome autograph for $170, that's cheap. That's like a low-level prospect right now. You know, if you can get Carlos Correa, he goes to the Yankees, goes from 175 to 300 just like that, essentially, I don't see where the downside is. You have his Topps flagship gold rookie card. You probably don't even recognize this card because it's not highlighted by Topps like other players. It's only $35. Buy it now. I'm not showing these cards to move the market in any way because it's not about Carlos Correa. That's not my point. My point is to talk about other players in the league who are forgotten about, who are on Hall of Fame paths. Correa with 34 WAR at age 26 might be on a Hall of Fame path. Just depends if he can stay healthy. And then we have Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's a little bit different story because he is older, and in 2019 he had a rough year, about a 2-WAR player in his first year in the National League. But then in 2020, he had about a 2.5 WAR season, better than his previous year, right close to it, in only 58 games. So that was a sign to me to buy. I did buy some, and then he had a 6.3 WAR season. So he's at 33, 50.8 WAR. If he can get to that 60 to 65 mark as a first baseman, they're very underrepresented in the Hall of Fame. If Todd Helton can get in which he's on the path to do so, then I think Paul Goldschmidt can get in. Same with Votto. I think Paul Goldschmidt is a similar-ish type player. Goldschmidt isn't necessarily a sexy pick. He'll end up around 350 to 400 home runs in his career with about 1,200 RBI. But overall, he has a 142 career OPS plus, just imagine how good that is. And his cards are cheap. This is one of the best looking parallels of the last 20 years. $71 for Paul Goldschmidt. Again, not about Paul Goldschmidt. It's about people forgetting about players like Paul Goldschmidt. And then we have Manny Machado. Manny Machado is kind of like Carlos Correa. He's hated a little bit. People don't really love Manny Machado, but overall his numbers are amazing. He's actually having a little bit better career right now than Arenado. I think they're going back and forth. If we take a peek, he's at 250 home runs. He'll get to about 450, I would say. He's only 28 years old. And if he can get to that point, that's amazing for a third baseman. He's at 45 WAR, age 28. If he has another couple, 3-5 WAR season, which he can definitely do, he's up to 60 just like that as well. He is just a good player who's going to be on a good team. I know the Padres imploded in some terrible way this last year, but overall Manny Machado is going to be a foundation piece for them. Same with Tatis. They'll be in the limelight, and that will help his card values. This is a card that I'm showing because it's his Bowman Chrome autograph, BGS 95. It sold for $250. Seems like a pretty good deal when, Wander Franco, Julio Rodriguez are both $2,000 essentially for the same grade and the same card for their Bowman Chrome autograph. Then you have a rookie autograph. This is the finest autograph. It is a sticker which holds down some value, but it's a patch at a 25 for only $375 at best offer. You probably can get it for $250 to $300. It just seems like some of these prices are too low. Granted, a lot of the value in baseball cards, and modern baseball cards in particular, is hype. These players don't have the same hype as Julio Rodriguez or Wander Franco just because they are older. But overall, they still will have movement. Investing in modern cards isn't about always having the best card and holding it. That's more of just a vintage look on cards, but it's about timing the market. So if you want to go look, there's other players I haven't even talked about that I think are great buys that I'm targeting this offseason that I'm going to get great deals on. And I'm excited about that because I think they have some real potential. But overall, there's players that are just forgotten about that will make you some money if you're looking just to make money. If you're a collector as well, how cool would it be to get in on a Manny Machado Bowman Chrome autograph early when he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and you can just have that, and then 10 years from now, really when he gets to the Hall of Fame, or 20 years, whatever it's going to be, he has a really big long contract. You can show it to your friends, and you know what I'm saying. I just wanted to talk about forgotten players and say it's kind of a problem. Look for your favorite players and see if they're on a Hall of Fame path. Evan Longoria arguably could be on a Hall of Fame path with 58-ish WAR right now. He needs to have another 2 good years to get there. When I say 2 good years, like another 3 WAR season or 2. If he does that, he could be in the Hall of Fame. His cards are cheap. Then you have Jose Ramirez, and then you have Aaron Judge, and then you have all these other players that aren't too expensive. So overall, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments below who you are targeting, which one of these players you think is a good buy, and I will catch you in the next video.